it's Yvonne and welcome to Having You On. I'm going to participate in Crafts4Reborns tag, alternative reborns question and answer tag. So please join in because I know that there's alternative babies out there. There are, I've seen them. So if you have one, please participate in this tag. It's lots of fun. Very, very rarely do we see the alternative reborns featured in a tag. So join in. The first question is, how did you get into alternative reborns? Well, long before I even knew about reborns. Back when I was a child, I believed in fairies. Yes, I still do, and I hope to find one day. Well, until I do, well, I'll just have one made. But as a child, I knew if I put a tooth under a pillow, a fairy would come and take that tooth. But I always hoped I would see her one day. I never did get to see her, but I did get to see drawings of fairies by Cicely Mary Baker, and I just love those fairy drawings. So yeah, so it started with fairies, but you're looking at really an elf. She borrows fairy wings from time to time. Yeah, she does. She's actually the Lily Bill sculpt by Simon Lawrence. She has an elfin name. I do not speak elfin. If you do, I'm so sorry if I mispronounce her name. She was very much influenced by Lord of the Rings elfins. Yes, elf. And she speaks only elfin. So I'm sorry if I mispronounce her name, but her name is Elenwe. Elenwe? That's the best elfin I can speak. But, yeah, so there she is. Okay, moving on to the next question.
If you collect alternative reborns, do you have both traditional and alternative, and why do you have both? Well, they're both an art form, but one is very different than the other. With traditional reborns, you know, there's only a variance of details the artist wants to add, and various degrees of skin tone, and if there's veining, is there molting showing, that kind of thing as far as creativity goes and trying to make the reborn look as realistic as possible. However, with alternative reborns, the art is very different. It's up to the imagination of the artist of what direction they want to go with the alternative reborn. So that's why I like it. One is a little bit more, you know, imagination and freedom of the artist, and the other one is trying to succeed in a goal of realism. And so that's why I have both. They're both very different, but both require a huge degree of skill from the artist. So I'm going to move on to the next question. Why do you like alternative reborns over traditional, or do you like alternative reborns over traditional? If so, why? Well, I don't prefer one over the other. They're both very different to me. And I don't even collect traditional ones, traditional reborns. I like to collect expressive reborns. You know why. Yes. I love to role play with my traditional, but with my alternative reborns, I can use kind of a little bit more imagination. I don't have to stick with the norm of what an actual baby might do. So that I like them both, you know, but I use them in a different way when I role play. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed learning about that. I'm going to move on outside, so come along with me. I love this question. The question is, do you take your alternative reborns out? And I can answer this very simply. I mean, I know she's outside right now, but I believe that Carrie meant alternative reborns out in public, and I don't feel comfortable with that because I prefer to keep my fairy in her favorite garden, and instead of taking her out, I have another alternative baby which is on the horror realm, and I also don't feel comfortable
taking that Reborn out as well. I don't feel comfortable. And of course, the other alternative Reborn that I have, you already know, is Morticia. And I will show you Morticia coming up. I wanted to include my alternative horror realm Reborn. This is Morticia. She was created by Twisted Beanstalk. I got to see Twisted Beanstalk's work in person, and I just had to have a horror realmed Reborn. Yeah, she's very colorful. She makes very colorful Reborns. Well, she's very colorful, but she also makes colorful Reborns, and so I wanted to have a horror realmed Reborn. But let's move on to the next question. What is your favorite alternative Reborn nursery? Well, that would be Twisted Beanstalk is the first one I knew about, and then I discovered Orange Grove Nursery through Crafts4Reborns. That was her artist. I know there are other nurseries out there, but I'm not too familiar with them. I'm still learning where they are and who they are, and but I like Orange Grove Nursery because not only does she make character Reborns, but she also makes the outfits too. It's pretty amazing. So, and the next part of this question is, what are some of your favorite alternative Reborn channels? I'm including favorite in there. I don't know if favorite was in part of the question, but I'm going to add that in there. And that would be Crafts4Reborns, of course. Roscoe Coon, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And I like popping in and seeing what Bean's doing in her studio, and that's fun. She doesn't do any role play, but I'm really a big fan of role play with alternative or traditional ones. Okay, moving on to the next question. The last question is, do you have a favorite fantasy character you'd love if it were made into a vinyl kit? Well, how about a dragon? How about a unicorn? And a little larger scale. I would love to have an orangutan, but I just would like it to be a larger scale. They're a little too small. I'm into realism. Not that I would want to have a full-size unicorn, but maybe a baby, a very small one, a very small dragon. I think that would be fun. So I want to thank everyone for popping in. I'm Yvonne, and thanks for watching Having You On. That's all for now. Take care. Please subscribe for more.